Welcome to Make Your Mark podcast, where guests share their experiences, insights, and tactics to help you accelerate your business. So building, scaling, and monetizing your business is made easier. And I will be your host, Kay Suthar. Oh my goodness, guys. Look, I know I say this with every episode I have, right? But this person I've got for you today, I spoke to him. We had a pre-screening call, and holy crap, I was like, I have to have him on this podcast, okay? Now, he went from being a high-flying drug dealer to a halfway house in a space of 18 months. He was all about cocaine, cars, women, and gambling. It actually finished him off when he gambled over $250K in 12 months while coupling his $2K a week cocaine habit. He lost 3 of his best friends, 1 to murder, 1 to drugs, and 1 to suicide. And he's lost many more friends over the term, and a few of them are actually in prison as well, doing a long stretch. He has vast life experience of living on the edge of life, and he has come out on the other side, and guess what? He is now a successful entrepreneur. He now looks at life completely different. And this is one of the main focuses and one factor, of instilling a winning mindset. And he has created successful habits that he now teaches his clients because of everything that he went through. And in fact, his motto is losers talk, legends walk. How freaking awesome is that? He lives his life by keeping his word, and he is known as the no bullshit guy, right? Because who likes that? He inspires people by matching his words with his behaviors to lead people in the right direction so they can have great experiences at their absolute best. Oh my God, Derek, it is awesome to have you here on this podcast. I know our audience are going to be itching to learn more about you and how this, all transitioned and, kind of you went from being a drug dealer to being a successful entrepreneur. So tell us first a little bit about your background and how that all happened.
Well, Kay, what can I say? What an amazing introduction first. Listen, thank you for having me on your podcast, and I'm absolutely delighted to be here. So yeah, listen, we'll condense a big story down into a smaller story so your viewers can get a bit of a gist of it, right? I remember as young, people, we all grew up in certain environments. So your environment is going to shape you to a degree, belief systems and all of that. So my environment from a child shaped me. And all I wanted to be was a drug dealer from 10 years old. So you can imagine the mental turmoil I was going through, the lack of identity, who was Derek Rowe. By the way, guys, I'm an Irishman living in Malta as well, but we will get to that. So I set out, my mother left, and I just set out, I said, right, fuck this. I said, I'm going full-time drugs. And I think it was 13. I smoked my first joint at 12. So I got into it. It wasn't very successful at all. But like in business, guys, and it's probably what we're going to be touching on in this, you got to keep going. Challenges are there to find a solution. We were chatting a bit about this already, Kay. So eventually, I met the right people, did my apprenticeships, and believe it or not, you do a type of an apprenticeship getting into the drug dealing world. And from there, became quite successful till I got caught with my first small amount of drugs. And I said, right, I'm not touching drugs anymore unless I'm consuming them. So I just put people in place like we do in business. We put the levels up, and it took off. I did pretty well. I made good money. Didn't have to do a whole lot of work. Had the life, had the cars, had the ladies. Could take as much cocaine as I wanted. But I know we're smiling here, right? But deep inside, I was dying. I did not want to live. This was just a facade. It was a show I was putting on for people because I wanted to be what I was doing now. Realistically, I knew I had potential. And for your listeners, guys, you all have potential. You're never going to reach it, but you will always be taking that step, creating your reference points as you go. So this went on for 8 years. As Kay said, I've lost friends to murder. I've lost friends to suicide, to drugs, locked up, you name it. And I've done a lot of these. I've ended up in dark places myself, very shitty mental places. So And I didn't want to live. So I came to 28, actually. I went on a holiday. I used to just go away for 2 months. And I go, right, I'm going to stay away from drinking drugs. So I got into gambling in Australia, right? And I said, right, I'm going to come home now to Ireland and that's it. And like you said, within 12 to 18 months, that was it. It was gone. The drugs were gone. Everything was gone. And I was at a stage where I was going, it's not worth living. My life's not worth living. So that's when my probation officer said, I see something within you. I start crying. I see something within you. And he said, what about a treatment center? And that's where the story, I suppose my new story started, and where I am now, which is living in Malta, with a beautiful young son up in the room, you know, nice little view over here to the water and the boats. So, you know, life is good. But again, life is what you make of it. Life is only as good as what you were willing to do. And so I'm all about this leadership and performance. And, you know, you said it is. If you want something and you follow it through with your behavior and your actions, you know, the universe is going to give back to you. Now, otherwise, subconsciously, it's going, okay, if you don't do it, you know, you're full of shit. And this is why, by the way, people have lower confidence and lower energy, because they're always saying stuff and then they don't follow through with it. Now, that could be as simple as going to the gym. It could be as simple as making that business call, whatever. But always treat people as how you want to be treated as well. And it is definitely the thing I live my life by, is match what you're saying to yourself with your actions. And, you know, the universe does give back.
Yeah. Now, I totally agree with that. And I want to backtrack a little bit. Okay. You said that at 12 years old, you wanted to be a drug dealer. That's all you wanted to be.
10 years old.
At 10 years old. Yeah. Oh, wow. So tell me this, right? What was going through your mind? Why did you want to be a drug dealer? What was so great about being a drug dealer? Yeah,
when I look back, like, okay, there's a paper in Ireland called the Sunday World. I'm sure in Britain they have something where they expose all the big time drug dealers. So like on the front of this newspaper, it's like, you know, man X gets caught with this and he's in his Porsche and all. But like the issue was my environment, right? So where I was an anxious 10-year-old. I was lacking identity. I didn't have any direction in my life. I had no one to go, Derek, come on, like, you know, that there is a better life here. So I choose to go this path. And you just get caught in it. It's like, okay, it's like creating a habit. It's like going to the gym. It's like the more you think of stuff, the more it becomes conscious. Do you know what I mean? The more you're dreaming about it. Now, obviously, for a 10-year-old, that's not a correct way of thinking. So that just goes to show, I suppose, where I was in life and what I wanted to become, you know, which obviously led me down a dark road. But I'm going to tell your listeners now, and I'm going to tell you straight up, I am very proud of that life, because I've stepped out of it and I'm able to show people and lead people in a better direction now. Because I used to have so many regrets, going, oh, I wasted my life. Look at me now, I'm in my 30s, blah, blah, blah. But listen, it's self-pity talk, you know. We have, again, it's about mastering your self-talk. It's a lot what I work on with people. Whereas you can look back, this is an experience that I can now share with your viewers. You know, this is an experience that's people can go, you know what, maybe it's time for me to step up now.
Yeah. So there's a couple of things that you mentioned there that I want to kind of pinpoint, right? Firstly, you said, you know, you are a man of your word, right? If you say you're going to do something, you're going to do it. You're going to fulfill it, right? And that is so important, because unfortunately in the industry, there's so many people that are making promises and don't deliver, right? And that just shows what kind of person you are, right? Ethics and morals that you have. And unfortunately, that isn't instilled in a lot of people, in a lot of coaches, right? And that is so important for your clients to know and to believe that if you're going to do something, you're going to do it, because that's the only way you're going to get results. And that's the only way your clients are going to realize you are going to get them results, because you do what you say.
I guess it goes without saying, like, if there's coaches listening or there's people there maybe wanting to take that direction, like, it starts with leading by example. We can have all the strategy in the world, forget the strategy, reading out the books. All of this is very important, like the amount of books I have here. But if I'm not stepping up and leading, you see, it's about frequency and energy. People know bullshit. They smell it. I'm sorry. Like, if you're on a call and you were trying to get someone to invest in you, but we're not investing in coaches. It just doesn't seem right, the conversation. And when you're truly following through with your word, you're taking the action to get you whatever outcome, whatever your desired goal or outcome is up here somewhere. People see it. You don't even have to tell people. They'll just know by you. This man, this woman is a serious person, and I should listen to them. Do you understand? Because it is that energy, and people don't get this. Like, they don't. And you said about coaches. I'm sorry, but you're going to be lucky to get rich quickly in the online space. Lucky. It's sorry, lads. There's a dream portrayed by a pack of snakes, really.
Yeah.
Out there that 90 days to 100K. Lads, yes, it is possible. Have people done it? Yes, but 99% of people have to go the other route, and that's not the easy route. Now, you make it easy on yourself by just showing up and being consistent. Listen, it comes down to commitment. It comes down to taking the action. It comes down to being consistent. Now, you put the 3 of those into your life right now and you get the results. And you create as I said, your frequency rises, your confidence rises, and your self-belief shows for everybody. And they go, who doesn't want to be around someone who is confident? Not in a cocky way, but in a meaningful way.
Yes, most definitely. Now, Derek, I heard you have the ability of unlocking people's minds. Ooh. Right? That sounds like, you wave a wand around and it happens.
I know.
A little bit about that.
Okay, let me tell you a bit about that, right? So up till 2.5 years ago, I was still struggling mentally, right? So I would have been one of these people, obviously, as the viewers know, halfway out of treatment centers, but I was in counseling from 12 years old as well. So I was the problem, which, looking back, I wasn't, but it was probably other people who were forcing me into. So all of this, like, I had a gym. I opened up a gym. It was really successful, but I was still fucking my head. I was still going back to using drugs, by the way, up till a few years ago, right? So I had a successful gym. I'd be up in my office and I'd be snorting and I'd be going, what is wrong with me? So I met one of my mentors who will be with me for the rest of my life. And he showed me it's not, and the way when you said the magic wand is, it's what people think. Actually, go, what does he do this? Well, it's actually getting in, right? Specific strategies, how to master self-talk. Basically, I'll give a quick layman's term overview. If you're talking shit to yourself, we all have, and maybe some of your listeners are, it could be anything. Now, what your brain needs is contrast. So again, bring this back to focus and attention. If I'm focusing and putting my attention onto something negative, that shit is going to grow. That's where my energy is going. Now, to give your brain contrast is to give it something different. Now, with a voice, it could be to slow your voice down. It could be to do a voiceover, right? Now, this stuff, right, the minute you do it, it drops that program. But you must have a plan, an action plan in place to go, right, to build the momentum to living a more fulfilled life. But subconsciously is where a lot of people are in the shit. Let's just say that. So imagine raging thoughts. So it's like 100 spinning plates. Boom, boom, boom. I can't sleep, can't do this. And it's very hard to focus and concentrate. Whereas I can show somebody how to go in there. True. Now, I'm not going to do it here and now because it would take too long. But how someone to go in there and access this part of the brain, be able to play out those thoughts vividly. We're able to then grab them doing another little strategy of the mind where then, boom, that's dropped completely. And then consciously, it opens free space and it opens up opportunities and more possibilities to move forward. This stuff has, I swear to God, right, I'll give you an example. I have a client in Sweden and he was on 6K a month and he goes to me, I goes, what are you doing, man? And he's playing video games for 3 hours a day. I said, what's up? I had some issues years ago. So we focused on the issue. And within one session, he just developed, boom, within 4 weeks, he was doing 20K a month. And he's been consistently doing that just from some of this work. Now, you see, language is very important.
Yeah.
Action is very important. All of these things. But again, it will always come down to leading by example.
Yes, definitely. Oh my God, like you've hit so many nuggets in just that bit. Holy crap. And you know what? I love the fact that you are just being very straight. You're just being, very honest. And one thing I really want to point out here is there's a lot of people that use swear words in the languaging, right? Which I don't believe is an issue. Okay. But I just want to point it out for the listeners here. And the reason for this is because I've come across a lot of people that use swear words and they just hide away, right? it feels like a very negative environment. But one thing I want people to realize is, who has said that these words are negative words? Who has said that they're bad words to say? Who came up with that idea?
Yes, there you go.
Right?
Yeah.
It's all what we believe in our mindset. Some people see it as negative, and I'm just like, well, that's just you being straight up. Right.
Yeah.
And I am thankful that you feel comfortable enough just to be you. Right. That's what Uncensored Society is all about. So I just want to point that out to the audience, that if you are feeling a certain way because of the language that's being used, maybe this is a mindset issue, right? Maybe this is something that's happened to you, and maybe you need to be a little bit aware and go back and see, where has that come from? Because it shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
Right. And this is something that Derek can definitely help you with.
100%. But again, it's true what you say. Listen, again, I am an Irishman. I'm pretty sure it's similar in Britain, that like it's built into our culture. You know, I find this very hard to explain even when I'm in Malta. I go, Jesus, you curse a lot. But it's not like I'm not, you know, putting on an act here and cursing for the sake of cursing. It's just the way it flows. Like, you know, we grew up in a household. All my family is the same. Like, you know, it's just a part of our makeup. It's something we can't just, I better watch what I say, because then if I was doing that, then I'm not going to come across at all myself.
Yes, exactly. You don't want to come across as a robot, or, you know, all of a sudden you're putting on this suit and a tie and trying to be someone that you're really not, and this is how you would dress on a day-to-day basis. You need to just be yourself, and speak what comes to your head and your heart. And that's the way of being genuine, authentic, right? And it isn't about offending anybody. It is just coming across as just being straight, raw, and being real with people, you know? And I appreciate that.
Thank you very much. And you're dead right in what you said. See, there's not enough people in this world. Everyone gets offended now by somebody. We can't be ourselves. We can't say what we think. And, you know, at the end of the day, okay, what's most important? Your family and your close friends are the most important. Now, I would include clients within this. And, like, you know, what is our responsibility is to tell the truth, you know, especially as leadership. And this is the name of the game. You know, we have to be able to be direct with people and go, listen, I'm telling you the truth in order for you to get a good reaction so you can move forward. And this is what I don't understand, what's going on with all this PC fluffy stuff now. It's like, Jesus Christ, like, you know, how many toilets are there going to be in the next 10 years? You know, you're a man, you're a woman, like, you're gay or lesbian, it's all good. But, like, you know, we have to stop with the bullshit of it all. You know, and I know we're not getting into that now, but it goes along with what we've just discussed, where, you know, it is number one, be yourself.
Yeah.
Yes, say what you think to a certain degree, but if you're telling the truth, make sure it's to enable the person to actually have a good reaction from what you say.
Exactly. Totally agree. Now, we've gone through a lot of stuff here, Derek, but I've got to ask you this question, okay? Yeah. What qualifies you as an expert in this niche?
Oh, life experience. Listen, guys, I have zero qualifications. I've not went to college. I've no schooling. I left school. I was kicked out of school at 15, so I've no papers. So I was asked this question actually by an American lady last week who was signed up to one of my programs, and I gave her this answer. She said, "What PhD do you have, or MD?" I said, "Listen, I have life experience, and plus I've invested close to 250K in the last 7 years of my own self-development of people who I respect, of people who are way ahead of me. And that is the biggest learning right there. Now, you mix that in, the 37 years of experience I have with the investments I've made into some bad people, but mainly good. And this is how I can be an expert. And this is how I can say I've been an expert, but not even that. It's proven over and over with my clients. So I am fully confident in who I am and in what I do. So, yeah, it's a solid question, because you know what? People should be asking questions like this to me. You know, why you? Well, that's why me.
Right, exactly. And do you know what? I just want to mention something here that I heard. So someone actually asked me, right? Oh, do you have an MBA? And I was like, what do you mean, a massive bank account? Yes, I do. Right. Yeah. And if that's what you want, then we can help you get there too. Yeah. Right. So, and to me, what weighs more than anything else is life experience, right? That's where you're going to actually truly learn about business, about yourself. There isn't any textbooks out there that would be able to actually be able to, I guess, instill that in you. There's so much information out there, which is great, which lays the foundation, but it's actually implementing it and putting it into action. And you're the only one that can do that. And it's got to be able to kind of click into your mind for you to realize, okay, this is what I've got to do. And this is where you come into it, Derek, because you keep them accountable.
Well, accountability is big, but going back to what you were saying, right, about college and stuff, listen, of course, I have no issue with anybody going to college, but look at the system that's designed around schooling and around college, right? So you're promised, you go into debt, first of all. Okay, if you have a mother and father, brilliant, that are going to pay for you. But let's be honest, 90% of people don't. So you're going to be in huge debt after 4 or 5 years. Will you get a job? Who knows? Then, you'll be in debt. You might get a mortgage. Now, I'm not saying, again, this is just, I go against the grain and want to open you up, whereas you can use your own life experience. You can learn. Go on to Google. If you can't afford a mentor right now, go on to Google. It has everything you need at the click of a fingers. YouTube is the same. But going back to accountability is, I would say, 50% of any coach's responsibility to their tribe, to their community, to the members, because it's great having the strategies, but you need to actually give a shit. You need to actually go over and beyond for people. Yeah. And you see, you get that, then that creates a better energy whether it's within the group, whether it's in the one-to-one coaching. And when you're checking in with someone you genuinely do care, which there's not many coaches out there, because again, we've touched on this, and it's not all about money. Whereas if someone wants to make money, they will actually go out and do it first to be successful. Now, does that mean money? The money comes after that, but to be successful is to mean to be their absolute best, to get their clients to be their absolute best they can be. And you see, from there, that's where your business takes off. And again, it comes back to what I said, lifting the frequency, lifting the energy. And when people are around that shit, they want more of it. And that builds and instills confidence. And you see, I'm all about redesigning your mind, right? And what I mean by redesigning your mind, we master self-talk. We get in, we change feelings, we do state change. But a lot of then is done through language, and it's just creating really well-formed outcomes, I call, with your goals. We reverse engineer them down, and you just stand shoulder to shoulder with somebody. We're shoulder to shoulder, and I am in your corner fighting for you. That's what I believe accountability is for me. Not saying it's the same for everyone else, but.
No, I mean, I think accountability really, I think, means a lot, right? I mean, let's use the example of people trying to lose weight. We all know what needs to be done. We all know we've got to eat healthier. We've got to exercise. We've got to drink water. So why don't people do it? Right? Yeah. It's because I guess we need the accountability. We need that push, that kick up the backside, right? And tell people, right, no, you can't eat this. You got to eat that, right? You got to get out of bed and you got to go exercise, go running in the morning or go to the gym, whatever it is, right? Make sure you drink enough water during the day. And is that accountability, that push, right? That voice in our head that tells you, get out and do it. It's not going to happen if you're just sleeping in bed all day, right? And the minute you have that, I know I'm one of those people, I need to have an instructor, right? I don't know what it is about me getting up and exercise. Once I'm out there doing it, I love it. But getting out and doing it, I need that push. And I need someone just like Derek, and I have a business partner that's got a very similar personality like you, that's like, what the hell are you doing? Get your head out of your ass and just do it.
Yeah.
And that makes so much of a difference. Huge, massive. Because sometimes when you're in your own head, you don't see a different perspective. You need someone else to come and tell you.
Yeah, to guide you and to lead you. Like at the end of the day, everyone has that voice. Just put on snooze. Like we all have it. There's no one different. But you see, the difference is the people who are wanting to win will not press snooze, will get out of bed, will be, it's about creating drive. And it doesn't matter how far you get along, you're still going to have the voice in your head. And I think people need to realize this, that it's not plain sailing. Like, okay, success is simple. It's not fucking easy. Like at the end of you need to be able to push yourself. Do you know, it is great having someone, and like, you know, for me, having my mentors and stuff. But if we truly want to be successful, we've got to be able to take that on ourselves on the days when we don't feel like it. Like, you know, it's easy when we feel great, but it is those days, and I'm not feeling so great today. Do you know what? Let's skip that. And again, you're after telling yourself, this goes back now subconsciously, right? You're telling yourself, I'm going to the gym, and then you don't go. And then people wonder why a few days, oh, why don't I feel good? Why am I low confidence?
Yeah.
You know, and it is sort of, people don't get it a lot of the time. But the people that do get it, you know, they were the people that will win. And like, at the end of the day, your listeners are here and they want to know how to win. And we've after discussing a lot of pretty cool things already.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I mean, in order to win and keep on winning, you got to keep putting work behind everything that you want to do, right? It is work. It's not just going to happen with a magic wand, I'm afraid, right? As much as we all want that, it doesn't work that way. So definitely keep working at it. And you gotta discipline yourself. That's the word, discipline, and keep consistent with that, right?
Yeah.
So I know, Derek, at this point, people are going, where the hell do I get hold of Derek? How do I contact him? So please share with us where they can go to contact you.
Yeah, Facebook is my main source, if I'm going to be honest with you, an email. So Derek Rowe, will you put a link? I'm not sure if you have a link for...
I can definitely put a link. Everything that you mentioned will be all in the show notes below.
Cool. So Derek Rowe, there is a lovely head picture of me that I look very serious and committed on, that I got professionally done before Christmas. My email is support@derekrowe.ie. So DEREKROWE.ie. I am on Instagram. Only committing to that lately, really. Instagram is DR_Derek Rowe, my name. And yeah, those 3 channels, just reach out to me. You want to connect, you want to have a chat. I'm not a pushy guy. I can help you. I can guide you, give you a few little tips to help you along your way. Whatever has to happen, we'll do it.
Thank you so much, Derek, for coming on board and sharing so many golden nuggets. Oh my goodness, I've loved this conversation. I feel like I can keep on speaking to you forever. So thank you so much for coming on board.
Pleasure, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for listening to Make Your Mark podcast at www.makeyourmarkpodcast.com. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get this and every other episode that comes out. We have lots of great stuff coming, so make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss it. And thank you in advance for all the reviews and comments. I appreciate it so much, and I look forward to serving you in next week's episode.